This is Sujay. A warm welcome once again to the newer and the better avatar of our now monthly favorite webinar series, Beyond the Track by Hyderabad Runners. Hope you and your family are taking measures to stay safe and healthy. Hyderabad Runners promotes running, fitness, and active lifestyles through its thousands of volunteers, mentors, and ambassadors. House to 5K, Club Run, Kids Train and Shine, Kids Run, Airtel Hyderabad Marathon AHM are just few of our initiatives. In our endeavor to keep you constantly aware and educated, we bring to you Beyond the Track, a 1-hour webinar series of conversations with some of the highly distinguished experts from running and sports field to help you all equipped with both theoretical knowledge and practical training. Nutrition is one of the most important factors that endurance athletes will have to take care during the race and during the training phase for the most optimal performance. Not just for athletes, it's also very important for everyone to be aware of nutritional needs to lead a healthy life. In this 51st episode of Beyond the Track, we are honored to connect you to Dr. Samta Mahajan and Sunil Menon, sir. Dr. Samta Mahajan holds a bachelor's degree in Ayurvedic medicine and surgery, BAMS, diploma in nutrition and health education, and diploma in sports nutrition. After working in the US, she moved back to India and currently works with Menon Fitness Systems, working to improve the nutritional needs of Indian athletes. Sunil Menon is an ultra runner, an Ironman certified coach, and the founder of Menon Fitness System. An experienced runner and triathlete, he has participated in many national and international marathons and Ironman events. He was the race director of the first edition of Airtel Hyderabad Marathon for the years 2011 and 12. After several years of IT experience, Sunil decided to follow his passion and launched Menon Fitness System, where he trains athletes from India and around the world. As we endeavor to create a smooth learning experience for you all, continue to post your questions in the comments section. Moderator for today is Mr. Harshad Buttada, a seasoned marathoner and ultra runner from the Hyderabad Runners community. Without further ado, I'd like to invite Harshad to welcome our guests for the day. Over to you, Harshad.
Do you know that there are 100 trillion bacteria, both good and bad, that live inside your digestive system? Do you know that 90% of your happiness hormones are stored in the gut? And do you know that there are tricks to improve these good bacteria that will improve your overall health and well-being? Information like this and many other very useful facts are given in this book here. And today I have with me wonderful authors of this book, our friend and mentor, Sunil Menon and Dr. Samta Mahajan. Now, I'm proud to say that I was part of the first batch that Sunil formally trained, and under his guidance, I finished my first ultra marathon. I also broke multiple marathon PBs. But all of this training aside, I think one thing that he did, he changed my lifestyle. I had multiple digestive system issues. And one day when I was talking to him, he told me, why don't you introduce Java root in your diet? And believe me, friends, that helped change my life. Thank you, Sunil, and welcome to the show.
Thanks, Arshad, for that introduction. And firstly, I would like to thank Hyderabad Runners. And this journey cannot be complete without the support of everybody in Hyderabad and Hyderabad Runners.
Thanks, Sunil. So while preparing for this, I was talking to my wife, and she has had some sessions with Dr. Samta. Her Ayurvedic background coupled with her overall knowledge and experience has helped a lot of athletes in the past few years. Together with Sunil, she has helped bring this wonderful book to the world. And I'm sure this is going to serve as a reference book to not just the athletes and runners, but to everyone who wants to lead a healthy lifestyle. Welcome, Dr. Samta.
Good evening, everyone. Firstly, I want to thank Hyderabad Runners for giving me the opportunity to interact with you all. I'm honored to be here. Thank you so much.
So, Dr. Samta, you've been with Menon Fitness Systems for 4 years, right?
Yes.
4 years, and Sunil did not make you run a half marathon. I can't believe this.
You know, Harshad, I'm actually more into yoga and the strength training. So I do yoga and the strength training, and I also love to do dancing. So all the things I can do inside my home.
Oh, dancing. Now that's something that we need to have a separate webinar for. So both of you had very unique careers. So let me start with Sunil. You left Microsoft at a juncture when typically common people, they would try to, go up the corporate ladder, look for that big promotion and so on. But here you are, you just left that well-paying job. You started your fitness journey with many fitness systems. So what made you choose this journey, and can you talk a bit about how has it been so far?
Yeah, thanks, Asad. So my journey started the day I landed in Hyderabad, and I was working for Microsoft. And that time, running was just 10 or 12 kilometers journey for me. Till I met Rajesh Garu, and he told me about half marathon and marathon. I didn't know such things exist ever. And that's how I started my running journey. And then I met a lot of experts in Microsoft, and I learned about triathlons. And my journey in triathlon started. And my marathon and triathlon journey led me to a DNF in Zurich. And that really, ignited this passion in me as to what I need to do, make sure that I am able to complete an Ironman event. And there were not many coaches in India that time who could guide. And that's where this, urge to study, and, I did my Ironman certification course. And then I realized this is the way you need to train. And eventually, after completing my Ironman and also my Boston, I wanted to come out of this corporate rat race and say, I need to do something on my own, and let me be a coach. That was not an easy part, because I had to convince my family. So I told my family, give me 2 years. If I really suck at it, I might come back to IT. Otherwise, I'm going to continue with this. And by the grace of God, and with trainees like you who actually supported me initially, you, Snehal, Rishita, a lot of people, Roshan, all of you people had that faith in me. Literally unknown coach, but your support has been massive, and the support that Hyderabad runners gave me through this journey has been massive in reinforcing the confidence in myself to be a good coach. And here I am, 5 years being coaching people, and now co-author of this book.
Wow, what a brave journey! And one thing I should tell you, you are not unknown. We all looked up to you as part of Hyderabad runners, and yeah, we miss those days. I mean, that first batch of Millen Fitness, yeah, we still reminisce about that. So let's move to Dr. Samta. So, doctor, you are a trained doctor. You are by profession a doctor. What made you choose nutrition, and what has been your journey so far?
Yeah, Harshad, my mom always a believer of Ayurveda, and from my childhood, I'm seeing her using many home remedies to curb the ailments. So in my early teens only, I was interested in reading health-related topics. So from the beginning, I was more inclined towards reading only the health. If you can say that was my obsession, or what I was always. And today also, if you give me so many magazines, I will only, look for something related to fitness or something related to health, or might be the healthy recipes. So from the beginning, it was in my mind that I will only go in the medical background. So that's how I have chosen this stream.
Wow. So they say, a child shows early signs of what he or she wants to become in life sometimes, and that's really true in your case. So yeah, thanks for that, guys. So let's talk about the book. First of all, why a book? What made you guys decide to write a book?
So actually, when Samta came on board 4 years back, we had this first 3 months of discussion where we just sat down and created this template as to how we need to guide our trainees. And the next 10 months went in trying to create, nutrition guidelines for them. And one thing that came out of these discussions was, more than hydration and nutrition plan, people needed to, really work on the nutrition terms, because there are a lot of trainers who face issues like, diabetic or pre-diabetic, and thyroid issues, and a lot of gut issues were there. So we said, we have to first tackle this issue first, and then only we can even talk about hydration and other part of it. And that's where we said, okay, we need to write down the contents wise where we need to do. And that's how we first came out with a table of contents for the book that we want to do. What are the issues that we want to address? And it took us 3 years to just write this book and get it out. And the biggest challenge actually was not to make it very specific towards running or triathlon or any specific sport, because I want an 80-year-old person or boy to actually pick this book and say, I can implement this from tomorrow onwards. And that is the biggest challenge that we faced. And from 250 pages, we had to literally get it down to 180, because we didn't want to confuse people. We wanted to make it simple, effective, and very straightforward for people to use this from any age group.
3 years. I mean, when people should know, like, so much hard work that goes into writing a book. So how many drafts did you have to write, Sunil?
Oh God, it was more than 10. In fact, Seema has read this book so many times that she knows the whole book by heart now. You ask her the page number, she'll tell you. Yes, it is a very time-consuming process, but I still feel the next book will be a better book, because I've learned a lot. The feedback that I've got from people, I have noted it down. So yes.
So one person who's really happy now is Seema. I think she's done with this and she can move on with her life.
Of course, no doubt about it.
Yeah. So, Dr. Santa, over to you. Can you walk us through, give us a structure of the book? What does it contain so far for our viewers, please? I'll share your slides.
Sure, Harshad.
Yeah, let me know if the slides are visible.
Yes. So guys, this is our book, Fuel Your Body Naturally. So in this book, you will get to know that what our ancestors used to eat, what we eat, why there is a shift in eating habits, why our health is getting worse day by day, what is the reason behind it, how the processed food came into the picture, what was food then and now. Yeah, you will get some interesting facts about the eating habits. So the next is the gut. Ayurveda believes all diseases arise because of impaired digestion. And the Hippocrates, who is the father of the modern medicine, also said that all diseases arises from gut. So how do you know that you have a healthy gut or you have an impaired gut? So how to fix those digestive issues, how to increase good gut bacteria. I have given several recipes how to increase the good gut bacteria. Yes, so Ayurveda believes that we should be eating food as per our body type. So how to find out what is your body constitution? So there is a quiz given in the book, so you can go through that quiz and get to know about your body type and then make food changes as per your body type. And then we have the 6 tastes. So when we include those 6 stays as per the Ayurveda, you will not get any type of cravings. So yeah, people always pay attention to their diet habits, they pay attention to their exercise, but they don't pay attention to their sleep. Sleep is a very important factor also. So how to improve sleep, you will get to know a lot of tips about that. So how to detoxify your body and how to do the fasting. Like we are surrounded by many pollutants. There's a lot of pollution outside the house and inside the house. We are using chemicals, cleaners, so our body gets toxic. So how to detoxify the liver, what are the benefits of the detoxification and the fasting, and who should do it and who should not do it. You will get to know all about this. So yes, on nutrition, on athletic point of view, there are the chapters about hydration and nutrition. So how much fluids are required, you can calculate those your fluids requirement as per your body weight. There are charts given in the book. And I have also shared many homemade hydration recipes you can try on. So next are the amino acids. So why amino acids are important for athletes? So what are the different kinds of amino acids? What food we should be eating to increase those amino acids consumption? So yes, athletes suffer often from inflammation and cramps. So how to prevent it? We can prevent the cramping, we can prevent the inflammation by introducing some particular type of food. So you will get to know about that. Most of the athletes are going behind the PES, that is the performance enhancing substances. So that has an adverse effect. So we should rather, try our hands on the Indian herbs, which have a promising effect in boosting the athletic performance. And then we should include the vitamins, minerals, which are the micronutrients, what are the food options to choose from. You'll get to know all that stuff. Yes, I have picked up to add the endocrine system, because the endocrine system has all types of glands that secrete hormones. So we need hormones in right amount. So how to balance your hormones and how to raise testosterone levels naturally, you will get to know all this from this book. So that's it, guys. So basically, this book is a holistic approach for healthy living. Thank you.
Looks like a complete health package there, Dr. Samta. Thanks for this.
Thanks.
So let's talk about nutrition. So there are multiple thought processes out there. Some people say don't eat carbohydrates, go complete keto. Some people say eat every 2-3 hours, small portions. I've heard people eat only once a day. I've seen that as well. So what is your take? I mean, should we follow one or the other, or how should we do our manage our daily nutrition? What's your take?
Yeah, see, the thing is, there is always a trial and error method, because if one food suits to one person, doesn't mean that the same food suits to other. So you have to keep trying. If the particular food is giving you the digestive problem, you should not be eating that particular food. And see, moreover, nowadays, intermittent fasting is also, it's like everywhere. So you have to see that. Is the intermittent fasting really helping you? Because in some people that really helps, but in many females, due to the hormonal problem, the intermittent fasting are not helping. So in those cases, you need to try the food, the frequent meals like every 2 hours or every 3 hours. And there's one other important thing is, don't go behind those extreme diets, and include all the macronutrients. Carbohydrates are must to include. So we should include carbohydrates, proteins, and fats, everything in a balanced amount. Do not miss any of the macros.
Yeah, so no fat diet, guys. And yeah, it's a trial and error. I think those are the amazing takeaways. Thanks for that, Dr. Samta. So you talked about a little bit about intermittent fasting. So in Indian culture, there's a lot of importance given to upvas, right? So is this like parallel to what we are saying about the athletes trying intermittent fasting, or something else?
See, first the thing is, you have to get to know that why do you want to fast? What is the reason behind it? Because some people fast because of the religious purpose, and some people fast because they want to improve their health, or they want to fix some particular health issues. So basically what happens due to overeating or due to wrong eating habits, foods remain in our system. So if you want to get rid of that, undigested food from your intestine, we need to fast. And with the fasting, you can heal many diseases. And in the Ayurveda, fasting is a therapy itself. Even our body has a tendency to heal itself, but only the thing is, you need to give a break to the digestive system. And you can give the break to the digestive system just by following the fasting routines. And for the newcomers, I just want to say that do not fast for very long hours. Just try it for a few hours first and then gradually increase your duration of the fast.
Yeah, so I would just like to add a few points here. In Ayurveda, it says always follow the sun, and if we follow the sun, our heaviest meal should be in the noon time, when the sun is at its peak. And that is when you should have your heaviest meal. So the concept like, breakfast like a king does not hold true, actually. So you need to follow the sun. And when it comes to sunset, that time your digestive powers are reduced. It's basically your body is going to release sleep hormones, and it's trying to go into a rest state. And that time, if you have a heavy meal, it's not going to work. So if you just follow the sun, and say, okay, what is going to be my last meal at? In fact, today, I had my dinner at 5 o'clock, just to prepare myself for this session. I don't have anything after sunset, okay, except plain water. And I've been following this since last so many years. And I've, not had any issues till now. The other aspect, of intermittent fasting, which people are not as missing, is when you do intermittent fasting, like Samta said, people go to extremes and they face issues. The other side effect of intermittent fasting is constipation. A lot of people, they do intermittent fasting and they have constipation issues, and that is not addressed in anywhere. And in this book, we've said that if you want to, have an intermittent fasting, you have to also make sure you clean your body. And enema, or in Ayurveda it's called as Bastikriya, is one of the ways where you can clean your system. Water, saline water, So we've talked about all these things in our book, how to actually do an intermittent fasting where you actually feel good and don't feel constipated or don't feel, a little heavy. So yes, these are the small things, but it really goes a long way to lead a healthy life.
Very, very insightful things. Now, just let's switch the topic towards race nutrition. Whenever I plan any of my ultras, right, the biggest thing that I fret about is, oh, this is like a 12, 13-hour run, and what do I eat? How often do I eat? So, and then there are so many other different types of races, right? There's a half, there's full, there is ultra, and there's everything in between. So, Sunil, I would like to hear your perspective on how to plan a race nutrition, like what to eat, what not to eat, or what to experiment with. Can you please shed some light on that?
Sure. So basically, first thing you need to understand is how your body functions. So every body, can take a certain amount of calories per hour. Okay, so ideally, an amateur or an average athlete can take around 60 to 90, grams per hour, but not beyond that. And we have to, plan our nutrition according to that. And as your time goes by, your digestive power reduces, because now body is trying to focus or more on the legs. Okay, to your digest, there's very little blood flow that's happening to your system. So when you plan let's say you're going for an ultra marathon event, it's a 13-hour event. Your pre-workout nutrition is going to be very, very important. Make sure that you have your carbs, you load yourself properly, and 2-3 days before also. How you plan your week before the race is going to determine how your race is going to be, right? Do not eat junk food. Make sure that you have good amount of carbs, good amount of sleep. Make sure you are ready physically and mentally for that. Now, when your race starts, okay, you can plan your nutrition in a way where you have good amount of amino acids, because your muscle breakdown is going to happen. So how you plan your amino acids is going to be important. Your nutrition, plan between 60 to 90 initially. And then as it goes by, change it to a more liquid-based diet, because the moment your digestive power reduces, you need to make sure that you adapt accordingly. So you can move from solid to semi-solid to liquid, in that way. That way you will be able to sustain yourself in a longer way. Another thing that's very important is do not load yourself with very high sugary foods initially, because moment you do, there's a sugar high, and remember one thing: there are two sources, main sources for your body. One is fat, and one is glycogen resource. Okay, and your body tries to use both of them together, specifically in an ultra marathon event. Okay, so if you load yourself with too much of sugar initially, it will not switch over to fat-based, sources for energy, and you will always get a sugar crash.
Right.
And that's where you need to train your body. So what's important is, number one rule: you should train for the event exactly as you're going to train for the race. So what you follow on your training day is equally important what you're going to follow in the race. Do not try something different in the race. Your training days are the most important, where you can validate everything. What food suits you, what does not, what is the amount you need to do, because every body is different. So try to plan it out in a way where you do it on your training day, and then it goes on to your race day. And in the book, I specifically have given out a chart, that gives you point by point how much grams of sodium or how many things you need, for per hour for an event. So that's a very useful information.
Do not plan something first time on the race day. Golden words were never being said before this, right? So this is amazing. So this is not just about ultra, right? I mean, I just give an example. What about the smaller races, like half or full? There are a lot of these gels in the market. Are they okay to consume, or do you think we should replace them with something else, or what are your thoughts?
See, I personally do not recommend gels, and even in our book, we've not recommended gels. We always recommended home-based energy bars, nutrition. Even the hydration drink that we've recommended is something which you can just make it at home. Simple glucose, baking soda, and honey. You can just create a beautiful hydration drink that can sustain you. Okay, go for natural sources. So we recommend you to go with dates, bananas, because these are natural sources. Coconut water is a natural source. These are very good natural sources for energy. You don't require a gel, because a gel actually gives you a sugar high. What does gel contain? A gel contains, basically, it has got maltodextrin. Okay, and it most of the times it causes GI issues, and we should be aware of these things. So go for even an orange is a very good race nutrition thing. And I just love to go with natural sources, because they will never harm you in any way.
Right. Yeah, a lot to think about. I mean, I know all of us are used to the gels, so yeah, thanks for those insights. So, Dr. Samta, all of us have been working from home for over a year now, and there's easy access to food. Do you have any tricks or guidance to sort of help us avoid this constant urge for snacking? It's the food's right there. I mean, so how do you, or maybe any healthy snacks for that matter?
Yes. You see, the first thing is, don't keep anything that is unhealthy, because if you bring something at home, you will end up eating that. So it's as simple as that. Don't bring the unhealthy stuff at home, and then keep a lot of healthy items. Like, you should be eating the nutrient-rich foods. So when you eat the nutrient-rich foods, you won't get hungry easily. So the nutrient-rich food means you can have the nuts and the seeds, and the sattu powder is really the very nutrient-dense protein actually. So that is made from the roasted chana. So you can have that also. So have a plenty of healthy options. And another thing is, because we are working from home, so we should be moving inside our home as maximum as possible. So just be active, do some kind of exercise, and and yeah, rather than having the 3 main meals, just split up your meals in between, small frequent meals. So in that way, you will not binge on something wrong.
Yeah, and I would also highly recommend, probiotic juices. It's really helpful. I love to go with probiotics. Sometimes when I feel hungry, I just have curd and a lot of and you really feel good about it. Afterwards also, you don't feel guilty.
What about kombucha? I know my wife keeps having kombucha. So is it okay?
Oh,
Or
it's excellent.
excellent. Okay.
It's really good. They are really good for your body.
Okay. So we were talking about working from home and how to keep ourselves healthy and away from snacking. There's a question from Chaitanya. Sunil, how have you kept up with your fitness in that last 1 year of lockdown? In his words, after an year of lockdown, are your six packs still there, or do you have increased or decreased the number?
Oh, my six packs are still there, and in fact today my wife was also admiring my body. So I don't wear a t-shirt at home. My t-shirt is always off until unless somebody guest is coming at home. I don't have a t-shirt on, and that's the way I keep myself fit. I see myself in the mirror every time. Okay, so I have my six pack, fit and fine. I can't show it out here, but definitely, Chaitanya, you're welcome home anytime.
Okay. So we were talking about working from home. Obviously, there's an elephant in the room, and we can't end this conversation, or we can't move past without talking about it. Right? This whole pandemic. Honestly, we don't want to talk about pandemic a lot, but let's just get this out of the way. So I think the question is for both of you. There are people who are going through this disease right now, or they're recovering, or their family members are having it. So what guidance or suggestions in terms of nutrition do you guys have for them? How to sort of help tide over all of this?
I think it's, Dr. Sampath, please go ahead.
So first I want to say that hydrate well, because we are inside the body, and when the person is sick, he don't feel like to drink much. So better to drink a lot of water, and if it's not possible to drink water, then have the coconut water or the honey lemon mix. So the main concept is hydrate yourself well. And I would say that include a lot of fruits and veggies, and eat veggies in the cooked form, especially, for the COVID patient, they should be eating in the cooked form, and include the immunity boosting herbs like giloy. Giloy is on the top list for when you want to improve your immunity, and have the turmeric tea and the turmeric milk, and increase your intake of vitamin C. In India, we have Indian gooseberry. You can have that in a fresh form, or maybe you can have it in a dry form. So just take, vitamin C and the vitamin D we actually should be taking a lot, and stay calm. That is the main important thing in this pandemic. Don't get panicked.
Stay calm. Sunil, you wanted to?
Yeah, specifically, see, we need to understand that this is a war, and if the virus is smart, we have to be smarter than the virus. And nutrition plays a very important role in our health. And like Dr. Sampath said, in the inflammation foods, we need to make sure that we have turmeric tea, and we boost our immunity towards this. And the more you change your lifestyle, the way you eat, the way you sleep, the way you do things, you'll automatically see that your body is able to take more of the viruses that are around. And today it's corona, tomorrow it can be something else, but you have to make your body resilient to all these things, and nutrition plays a very big role. And if you see in the book, there are so many recipes that are there that can boost your immunity in a very natural way, something that you can even find in your home. Simple thing like turmeric tea. We have pepper. We've got tulsi at our backyard. Those things are just as simple as thing to incorporate in our daily lives.
That's very good. So there was a audience question. Let me just read it from here. Dr. Samta, you talked about Sattu. This is the question from Dheeraj. Sattu is a super drink, but some people get heavy stomach and indigestion. Any reason?
Yes, that's right. Sattu is a super drink. No, doubt in that. The problem is you have to introduce Sattu in a small quantity first. Do not go for the whole 2 tablespoons. I have seen the people, adding the 4 tablespoons in the first go. So just started with the 1 tablespoon at a time, then gradually increase the dosage. And another point is Sattu is a heavy food we should not be taking at night. So sattu, you can have it during the daytime, anytime, but do not take it at night, and slowly, gradually increase the intake.
Okay, okay. Similar lines, another question on nutrition, again from Dheeraj. How much nuts is too much? And like almonds, cashew, walnut, Brazil nuts, can we have all of these and can we mix them or?
Yes, you can mix them, but the only thing is the one serving of nuts means the one fistful of the nuts. You should not go beyond that. So you can, just take it in a fist, and how much comes in your fist, that much you should be eating every day.
So everything together, being put together a fistful, not
Yes,
like
you
one
can
fistful
put-
of cashews and one fistful
No,
of...
that will be too much of the calories.
One thing I would just like to add here, ma'am, if you're having nuts, please soak it for at least 4 to 5 hours before you have it, because nuts have their own defense mechanism against predators. So you need to make sure that you remove that acidic content from the nuts. Now, so soaking the nuts will remove the acidic content from the nuts, and it will enable you to digest it in a better way. So just don't grab almonds and just eat them. It's not going to help you. I would suggest you to soak the almonds for at least 4 to 5 hours, or in fact more. Soak the groundnuts, soak the walnuts, and then have it, because it removes the acidic content, the defense mechanism for the nut, so that you can easily digest it.
Yeah, I also want to add in here why we should be soaking and then, peeling the almonds, because the almond skin has tannins that has anti-nutrients. So we should always soak the almonds or the cashews or the walnuts. So soaking make it, easier for our digestion to work well. It's getting, you can digest really easily.
So a related question on that. My mom actually, she doesn't soak. I mean, she basically warms it up. Is it okay? Or roasts the almonds. Is it okay? Or
No, actually, the soaking is the best
soaking
way.
is better?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. The same for groundnuts. I mean, roasted groundnuts is a staple diet. So is that okay? Or
I feel like, yeah, roasted groundnuts you can have, like, but not in a very excess. But if you want to eat the peanuts every day, then you better, like, boil it first and then use it in a chaat, or you can make a peanut masala.
okay. Okay, so another question about nutrition from Sunil Handa. Can you suggest special nutrition or diet for people who are vegetarians and training for ultra races or full marathon? Basically, how do you compensate for lack of non-veg protein?
See, the thing is, first of all, that, for the athletes, the key nutrient is the carbohydrates. The carbohydrates is on the top list. Then secondly, you should pay attention to the protein. So being the vegetarian, just make sure that in your every meal you should, you should include some type of protein. You can have cottage cheese, you can have milk, curd, and I have just said sattu. Sattu has really high quality protein. Then you can have soya. There are, several things in the vegetarian section. Only the thing is people are not aware of it. So I have also discussed about this thing in the book. So yeah, you'll get to know a lot of knowledge about the vegetarian protein sources.
Yeah, just a point to note that is, you get everything that you can get from a vegetarian food. You don't need to go to non-veg for anything. Only thing that is absent in vegetarian food is vitamin B12, and that used to be there. That used, if you had flowing water from the rivers, they used to have vitamin B12 bacteria that would create the vitamin B12 in our gut. So now, since we are having chlorinated filtered water, those things are missing. So the only caveat for a ultra marathon runner is to take B12 supplements 4 weeks before a marathon event. It's very important. Your vitamin B12 deficiency is there, it can lead to even heart attack. So you have to be careful that you take your test to understand if you are vitamin B12 deficient, and before the marathon, 4 weeks before, have your dose for the vitamin B12. And that's the only supplement I would recommend for a vegan person.
Okay. So another question, again related to similar topics. Which all fine foods help in lowering of the heart rate? This is from Trinamul Kotni.
Yes, I would say the beetroot is on number one, because beetroot, when we drink beetroot, it converts the nitrates into nitric acid. So yes, the beetroot works very well. And then again, is for the heart rate, you want to lower the heart rate, breathing helps a lot. Sunil can tell more about that breathing aspect.
Yeah. So yeah, of course, apart from nutrition, if you want to lower your heart rate, you can even have the sabza seeds. They're also good in reducing. Buttermilk is good, and breathing. Of course, I would always tell people to go with belly breathing. One hand on your chest, one hand on your belly. Practice inhale, expand your belly. And when you exhale, contract your belly. And this you need to practice in front of the mirror. And the more you practice this, it's going to be easy. So of course, lowering the heart rate, apart from nutrition, breathing also plays a very important role.
So I want to segue this into a slightly different topic. I was reading in the book, and I had a very interesting conversation with my wife. So Dr. Santa, you've explained three types of people, right? Vat, Pitta, and Kapha. And what I found is I can easily identify myself as a specific type, not just from the kind of issues, but also from the temperament and other types, right? So now I want to sort of connect that to the eating habits or nutrition. So you explained there's a connection between the two. Some food type, kind of goes well with certain types of people. So can you sort of explain this a little bit more?
Yeah. See, the body types are like Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. So the people who have more like the dominant Pitta in like that, they should be eating the cooling foods. They should avoid the food that increase the Pitta in that. Like they should avoid tea, coffee, colas kind of thing. So for the Pitta people, they should be eating the cooling food. Cooling food doesn't mean that they have to take out the cold food from the refrigerator. Cooling food here means that they should eat the sabza seeds, they should eat the more vegetable, they should eat the more fresh seasonal fruits, and avoid the processed foods, because they have already increased pitta in their body. So we want to subside the pitta. Actually, we want to decrease the pitta. We don't want to increase it more. Otherwise, they will have the acidity problem and other acne issues. If you see the more of the people having the pimples or the acne issue, their pitta has increased a lot. So they need to, get rid of those pitta, highly pitta food from their diet. So same thing applies with the vata and the kapha. The kapha people can exercise really more. So they should be avoiding the heavy foods and they should eat the light, warm foods.
Okay, interesting. So, Sunil, you talked about B12, and there's a related question over here. What about vitamin D deficiency? Do people need supplements? And again, these days we hear a lot about vitamin D deficiency. So, what are your thoughts on that, Sunil?
Hello. Yeah. So, see, vitamin B12 usually you get it through sunlight, and but since our lifestyle has changed a lot, vitamin D is also something that you need to supplement now. That's a sad part of it, So vitamin D is something that you will have to take an extra supplementation to make sure that at least before the race, you have to take it 4 weeks before. Only then you'll be able to get it.
Okay. So yeah, I think a lot of great discussions. Let's veer it back towards the book a little. This book is an amazing addition to one's collection, Sunil, but we heard something about a new book or something. What's next? How is this journey evolving, and where are we heading, and what to expect?
Yes. So, this is just volume 1 of the book, and the volume 2 is something which I want to really take it to the next level, where I'm going to talk about the use cases, specificity, of a race and run, triathlon, ultra marathon, and that's where it's going to build on this book. And it's going to be a sequel to this book. So you need this book if you have to go to the next volume of the book, and that's the next thing. The other thing that I'm going to work on is breathing. So I'm going to write a book on breathing because that's one of the most confused topics, and a lot of people are not breathing in right. Today, if we are facing issues, it's because we are not breathing properly. And I want to address this issue in a big way. There are a lot of books on breathing, but it does not tell you how to breathe as an athlete, how to breathe on a day-to-day basis. So these two are the things that are on my plate right now in terms of writing a book.
So again, a lot of questions coming in, Sunil. Sorry, I'm interspersing those in between. And I think this is an interesting question. So the one question is, please elaborate a little more on importance of adding seeds in our diet. Quantity, how much to have, how to consume, and so on. So maybe Dr. Samta, if you can.
Can you, Harshad, please repeat the question?
Please elaborate a little more on importance of adding seeds in our diet.
Oh, adding seeds. Okay.
The quantity, how much to have, and how to consume.
Yes. So again, like we have said that we need to soak the nuts. So the same thing applies to the seeds also. For the seeds, we also need to soak it so that the anti-nutrient can come out of the seed and we can get, and moreover the seeds get easily digestible when we soak it. And the same rule applies here when I said you have to eat the fistful of nuts. Again, you have to eat the fistful of seeds. But if you have eaten the nuts that day, don't have the seeds. Just have the seeds next day, because otherwise that will be too much of the fats in your body. And then seeds are the great way to get the omega-3s. And omega-3s are the healthy fats.
Yeah, so I'll tell you what I eat on a day-to-day basis, specifically related to seeds. So watermelon seeds, sunflower seeds, you can have chia or sabja, tulsi seeds. You just soak it. Of course, I always make sure I soak it. And til is also another seed that I have. So these are wonderful seeds that you usually even get it in the market. Which you can just have it, just soak it and put it in your salad or with curd, and just have it with food. So it's a great way. It's a great way to nourish yourself with magnesium, zinc, because seeds are very rich in magnesium, zinc, and protein. So you have to have those seeds, which will, and even selenium. Brazil nuts are really good. So more seeds you have, the better it is for your health. And like Samta said, you make sure that you don't mix too many things together, and just keep it separately.
So on the topic of mixing, what do you guys think about this whole smoothie concept? A lot of people put a lot of fruits and seeds, I don't know, honey, all of that, and then mix it, and then that smoothie, that's like a breakfast. Do you guys?
Yeah, the thing is, you can mix the fruits and the nuts and the seeds, but here the concept about the milk, the dairy milk, I'm not in a favor of mixing the dairy milk with the fruits, because most of the fruits are citrus. So we don't mix the strawberries. People are making the strawberry shake, the mango shake. So it should not be mixed with the milk. So what you can do is you can make it in almond milk. You can make it in the coconut milk. It's okay to add honey, nuts, and seeds together on like that time with little bit of the quantity, but don't overdo it. And don't add the dairy, our main milk, like the dairy milk. Do not add the dairy milk with the fruit. Just keep it separate.
Okay. What about almond milk?
Yes, almond milk is very healthy. The smoothie what I make is usually make it with the almond milk only.
Okay. Yeah, no, same here actually. Yeah, I add a lot of almonds and almonds and banana is what I add, and then I mix it, and that's my smoothie. So yeah. So last question coming up from the audience once again. how do you compensate for the electrolytes lost via natural way, everyday basis? Do we have to rely on supplements? This supplement topic is coming up a lot. So yeah, or is there any other natural way of compensating for
Because
the?
the coconut water has all the electrolytes. Coconut water is a good source of magnesium. It's a good source of potassium. So if you take the coconut water, every day, you don't need any kind of electrolytes related supplements. And at the house also, you can have that honey lemon mix, you can add few things with that. So I said the coconut water is the best thing to have.
Yeah, coconut water. I would say watermelon is also a very good hydrating drink. Kokum juice is quite hydrating. And buttermilk is hydrating. So you do not actually have to go for supplements for hydration. We have so many hydrating naturally things that really hydrate us so well. So stick to those natural sources.
Okay. Okay, one more question. I thought I said it's the last question, but yeah, one more question. This is from Molugu Raghu Rao. Sunil, namaste. Good to see you in this webinar. What is your opinion on running with empty stomach? I think it's a very good question. I mean, after fasting for 24 hours plus. Okay, so do you recommend it or not?
See, it all depends on the workout that you're doing. If you're doing an easy fat max run or a very low heart rate based training run for not more than 2 hours, then empty stomach should be fine. But if you're doing a time trial or a track or a speed interval, then definitely empty stomach is not going to be good for you. And 24 hours, I think, is a long time. I would say, you do not go to that extreme that you wait for 24 hours, 12 hours, 15 hours with intermittent fasting, and then you go out for 1.5 hour of run. Fasting is a great way to actually train your body to burn fat for fuel. But beyond that, I don't think you'll really need to build it up from there and make sure that you do not. But the problem with fasted workouts is if you overdo it, you can start burning your muscles, because what happens is the body will start burning muscles to take energy. So that is something that you need to be very. It is called as a catabolic effect. So catabolism happens. It starts burning your muscles for energy, and that's where you start getting injured also. So be careful when you do this. It has to be in a very, very slow paced manner.
So after you've done a really hard workout, let's say you talked about intervals and such, what should we drink? I mean, again, there are all these supplements. Again, the supplement keeps coming up, that you need to replenish the proteins or whatever. So is there a natural option out there that we can, once we finish a really heavy workout, what should we do? What should we drink or eat or?
Yeah, more than eat, I always try to give preference to hydration, because first thing your body needs is to rest. Your body is getting back, and your digestive powers are very less. So first, try to hydrate yourself for the first hour. Specifically, men can go without going for any supplements or anything else. Second thing is, go for a good mix of food. What I would suggest, sometimes I can give some examples here. You can go for a nutty based food or egg or something which it's a mix of fat, protein and carbohydrates. It's a good mix, which will be healthy for you, and your body will be able to digest it in a slow and better way. Taking 35 grams of protein mix and shaking it up and going to have it is just going to overload your kidneys and system. It's not going to work, because your body cannot take more than 0.3 grams of your weight per se of protein in one serving. So if my weight is let's say 60, I will not be able to digest more than 18 grams of protein in one go. So if you take a scoop of 35 grams of protein and do it, it's not going to work at all. So and that's where we mentioned in the book also as to what you need to do post food workout also, how much of food, carbs and this you need to have, so that you are able to digest the food effectively and recover from it properly.
Dr. Samta, anything to add on this or?
Yes, yes. See, usually what happens after the heavy workout, when the athletes finish their run, they think that we are finished our run, so we don't need to hydrate ourselves. So here is the main important, you need hydration even after the run also. The first after finishing the run in the first 2 hours, keep hydrating yourself well and do eat the post-workout meal. That should be the combination of carbohydrates, proteins, and fats in the ratio of 3:2:1. So the 3 parts you need to take, that is after the heavy workout, you need to take 3 parts of the carbs, 2 parts of the protein, and 1 part of the fat.
Okay. It's very good formula to remember. Hey, thanks a lot, Sunil and Dr. Samta. I think this was very insightful. And I for sure am looking forward to your next book, Sunil. Let us know as soon as you decide to write it, and yeah, I'll be the first one to buy once it's available. So thanks a lot. I think I'll hand it over to Sujay again for the formal vote of thanks. Thank you, Sunil.
Thanks, Arshad. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Harshad. Thank you, Hyderabad Runners, for having me.
Yeah. Over to you, Sujay.
All right. That was really an awesome session. Thank you, Harshad, for facilitating today's webinar. You kept it pretty interactive and engaging discussion. I could see from the queries which are coming from our audience today. So here are some points which I could very well remember. Actually, to begin with, it was really amazing to know that it took 3 years to write this book. I mean, anyone who looks into this book probably might not know, okay, this is a less than 200 pages book, and must have been something easy, but that was something really good to know about that. And thank you, Dr. Samta, for walking us through the slides. It really gives a good snapshot for our viewers to know what they could expect from the book. About fasting and diet, a really great perspective. And Sunil, I think your idea of just following the path of the sun, what a simple and logical way of managing our food intake. Very helpful. Lockdown snacking, that is one more thing I really loved about the idea. Also the tip from Sunil on how he maintains his fitness. Thank you for sharing that. And about consuming nuts, I think that's something I learned newly today. I always knew everybody recommends that you have to soak nuts, but today I learned scientifically why you might have to do that. I think that's a good learning for me today, I would say. And a really good perspective on gels and taking supplements. I mean, it's not like a golden bullet. There are certain supplements that you would have to really take, especially for endurance running. And also the perspective on maximum protein intake. That was really good to know. I mean, many of us had some views about post-workout snacking, and you covered it really well. So thank you so much, Sunil and Dr. Samta, for these valuable inputs. Thanks for taking your time today. And really can't wait to get our hands on your upcoming book on breathing. And to our audience, thank you for spending time with us today. It has been pretty interactive today. So viewers, the recording of this event will be available on our Hyderabad Runners Facebook page, as well as Airtel Hyderabad Marathon YouTube page. Please come back to watch it again and share it in your social media profiles with the hashtag Hyderabad Runners and hashtag Beyond the Track. Till then, it's Sujay from Hyderabad Runners signing off. Stay safe, stay healthy. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.